Well, I'm at the most American thing. The most American thing. What they call Disneyland, or the America is a place of Disneyland, or resorts, or whatnot. And this is Universal Studio. Universal Studio that belongs to the Universal Studio Movie Company. And I'm just baffled by how American society is accessible. Let's not use the word equal and equal. That's overused and abused word. How it is accessible to look at. Just take a look at the people walking here. You'll see mostly working class people. Working class people coming to this kind of resort, if it is luxurious or whatever that belongs to the realm of American dream. This is what it is. This is American capitalism, right? You don't need to be super rich to have access to these kind of basic human stuff. It's not a human required to have food, shelter, and the way of communication. It also needs to have some leisure time with the family, with friends, or by themselves. It doesn't matter. And a society that can at least afford to relax and have some relaxed time or leisure time. Doesn't a working society, a working class from anywhere in the world doesn't deserve it? And this is which is abused or vilified in all kinds of rhetorics in the third world or the developing country. And I come from India. All these elite Indians, they come to America, their children come here, they study, they enjoy these luxuries, and to India they preach the rest of the Indians. They preach the poor Indians that America is the bad place, the worst place on the planet. You should not dare to become Western. You should not dare to become capitalistic. What I feel in reality, capitalism is in India is actually feudalism. Feudalism with money. Now they have factories, they have big contracts because they belong to some sort of political clout, and they can easily make money, and they can afford to look like whatever they want to do. It doesn't matter, right? Law doesn't apply to them, regulations do not apply to them. They can do whatever the hell they want to do. Their children, you know that how law works. If you're powerful, no police can dare to stop your car if you have some sort of siren on it, a different brand, or if you have people in high places, nobody can stop you, right? And this is what society looks like. The most capitalistic society looks like. All you can see are the people, those who work in factories, they work in cars, they work in shops, they work everywhere that you can imagine and you can call working class. They are that-collar jobs like teachers, professors, and doctors to come here. Can you imagine an Indian auto rickshaw driver going to a water park? Never. Impossible. Can you imagine somebody who works in a farm, works in a hotel cleaning plates, glasses, or those who have telas on the roadside, they can afford to go to places like this in India? Come on. It's just dream away. They can just go to a movie and at least watch those dreams served by our screen and be satisfactory. Well, this will happen in some other life, right? That's one of the realities. But when you look at oh my God, this is amazing. This is amazing. Argue what I would request, at least the first generation working class youth from developing world, especially from India, is to open your eyes. Be critical of what information is served to you about America, about the West, about the Western societies, about the Western system. It's all lie. Don't be slave to those third world feudals. You need to get out of it. You need to look away. You need to look beyond those glasses which are put in front of your eyes, put on your face, and look outside, look beyond it, you will see something else. I'm not saying that you embrace Americanism, but you see what's the reality of the American capitalist system. Right? I'm a grad student, I'm a PhD student. I just came here for my second PhD. I did a PhD in India. So I'm not a fool, I know what I'm talking about. I studied in the most Marxist university in India, JNU. Did my master's in Spanish language. Did my PhD in Hyderabad Central University. As a PhD student, can you afford to go to places like this in India? Come on. You can't. And day and night, being intellectual means you criticize everything that is not according to the dogma you are served, that you are forced to believe. I would request, guys, my friends, brothers and sisters, you need to look beyond those domestic feudal slavery. You need to. That's not how a society is supposed to be. And we are all part of that game. If somebody is feudal, we want to just replace them and become a new feudals. That's not how a society has to be. Society has to change, it has to transform itself. And unless there is some kind of disruption, some kind of creative disruption, creative unsettlement, you can't bring any change to those kind of societies. They're old societies, right? Thousands years old societies. The feudals, they want to maintain the status quo at any cost, right? They have hundreds of narratives to counter anything that might snatch away their powers and their privileges. So you have to stop repeating the elite, liberal and so-called progressive version of the West that is served in your countries and societies. You need to step away from it. You need to kind of open your eyes and see, oh my God, how the world is, the Western world is organized. And here with the PhD stipend, I am literally under poverty line, or maybe on the fine line, on the poverty line, and still I can afford to come to Florida to present a conference paper from South Bend, Indiana, and afford to come to places like this, eat my dinner in some of these places, watch a movie at one of their cinemas. I just bought a ticket for $3.75 because I have Cinemark membership that is $5 a month. I go to local cinema where I live, and here I'm paying $3.75 to watch a movie. Believe me, the same cinema ticket would cost in India in a mall maybe some $400-500. It could be the same price. And with a stipend that is hardly, I don't know how many thousand, but I used to get 36,000 JRF Junior Research Fellowship. It is a lot of money for India, and especially for a working class person like me, coming from a poor family, would not have afforded to get not that much money at least while studying. Here, I don't want to say how much, but it's much more than that, much more. There's no comparison. And you can afford to come to these kind of places, part of what you call these American Disneyland, fantasy, or the dream world. And don't think it is a dream world, it's the accessible world. You can afford to go to these places. People who go here, those who are going here, look at their outfits, look at how they look like. It's the most diverse crowd I have ever seen in my life. And I can't imagine this is America. If this is America and this is capitalism, we need to rethink about whatever we have been believing, whatever we have been taught to scare about. You need to rethink. You need to examine and embrace some of the good practices, some of the best practices that American society has to offer. Okay? We need to get out of a mental slavery, a mental subjugation that is being exercised by the domestic ruling class, the domestic feudals, those who have been ruling us for thousands of years. My friends, this is just an eye-opening experience for me. from Orlando, Florida, in America, the Disneyland, America. I'm checking out. Going to have some food because I feel a little hungry, and it's already 7:45 in the night. I didn't eat proper lunch because I was in a conference until late evening, until 6 o'clock. And I'm just baffled. I couldn't control myself to record this video. So I hope this reaches to a good number of people, good number of first generation youth from third world countries, from developing countries, from poor countries, and to see how a Western society organizes itself, how the capitalist America organizes itself, how it makes everything accessible to the human beings, the fellow human beings, its fellow citizens. Life is tough, but I can afford to be part of that toughness. Don't you think working class people have tough lives? Come on. Nobody can preach a working class person. Nobody can preach on rickshaw puller, a rickshaw driver, a farmer, a dairy farmer, a cattle herder, that what is hard work. You can't explain those to those people, right? So I would strongly request, urge and request. Open your eyes, brothers and sisters. Open your eyes. Nowadays you have all the information on internet, on YouTube. You can easily afford to watch the reality firsthand and then decide for yourself. You need to change the narrative of your domestic elites, the domestic ruling class, and get out of the yoke of the domestic slavery, domestic colonialism. That's much more dangerous than the British and other Western colonialism. It's much more dangerous. That will put you under slavery forever, and you will not have any clear enemy to put your finger to, because you are focusing on a phantom enemy. It doesn't exist. Well, I'm just checking out now, and I hope you are doing good wherever you are in the world, listening to this rant. But again, I could not control myself. Thank you. Bye bye.